All right, kids. Happy Friday. Today I decided to do this. Actually happens tomorrow in history, but I wanted to do it to the day before because I think this one is a little bit more interesting. So technically, today in history is what is called VE Day, Victory in Europe Day. So that means the end of World War II. So what I want to talk about is Goring is captured by the U.S. in 1945. Now, this dude was a dirtbag. Okay, everybody needs to know that. He was the commander of the Luftwaffe, which was the German Air Force, and president of the Reichstag, head of the Gestapo, which is one of the police forces. He was the prime minister of Prussia and Hitler's dedicated successor. So let's just say he was an important dude to the Nazis. He was captured by the U.S. in Bavaria. He was an early member of the Nazi Party. He was wounded at the failed Munich beer hall. Push in 1923. This is where Hitler gets. This is the only time. Have I don't know if I've told you, Hitler gained power legally. This was the only time this failed Munich beer hall thing where ends up uh, he ends up that's the only illegal thing he does. The rest of his actions are actually legal, whether they're ethical or not. No, probably not. So anyway, Goring was there as well. After he was wounded, he became addicted to painkillers. He was instrumental in creating the concentration camps for political enemies. And so this is why they would have charged him as a war criminal. He ordered the purging of the German Jews from the economy following Kristallnacht. Some people might consider that the beginning of World War II. We can talk about that later. It was a really crappy night for a lot of people. His failure to win the Battle of Britain and prevent Allied bombing of Germany led to a loss of stature in the Nazi Party. So if you know anything about World War II and the Battle of Britain, the Luftwaffe bombed London day after day after day. And Winston Churchill is the prime minister at this time, and he will not give up. He will not keel over to the British at this time too, or excuse me, to the Germans. At this time too, the French had already, they got taken over in like 14 days. It was embarrassing for them. And so the British were really and the Russians were the only ones fighting the Germans at the beginning of the war, and the Germans saw a lot of success in the beginning. However, they were never able to conquer Britain. He fell into the hands of the U.S.'s Seventh Army after the German surrender, and he was tried and charged at the Nuremberg trials. The Nuremberg trials were this is where a lot of the generals and the higher ups in the army would have been tried for crimes against humanity, aka concentration camps and other things. And then before execution, he committed suicide by swallowing a cyanide pill, which was pretty common for the time. That's the same way Hitler ends his life. So that's him. Pretty grimy dude. Today, Friday. So you need to go back to the assignment that has the ISN. You are going to be working on sections 28.3 and 28.4. At this point, all of these sections will be reviewed because we've already talked in pretty good detail about each one of these battles. Now your job is to read something and then summarize these battles. So 28.3 and 28.4 today, and then Monday we'll finish that chapter and keep trucking right along. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to you guys on Monday.